The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
Doctor, doctor, give me the news. I got a bad case of loving you. No pills gonna cure my ill. I got a bad case of loving you.
When? Okay, good.
You're live.
Hi, welcome to Conversations with Dr. Maryel McKinley. Tonight we have an amazing set. We have Rosalind Kahn that's guest star co-hosting. Say hi, Rosalind.
Hi there.
And we have the amazing best-selling author of 3 books, and she has done radio, several television shows. She's a guest expert on shows, and she is also the host of Kindness. Wait, I'm sorry, Karen Palmer. Karen, can you tell us the name of your channel and your shows? Because I don't want to mess it up again. Say hi, Karen.
My show is called Global Kindness Going Viral.
Global Kindness Going Viral.
Yeah, and the channel that I broadcast on is called Spirituality Gone Wild.
On Spirituality Gone Wild, and you can see her on Facebook, and she's on Periscope and YouTube and numerous other social media sites all over the internet. Her reach is 30 million combined with other people that are in the global kindness movement. And Rosalind, as you remember from last week, wrote Random Acts of Kindness Are Changing the World, and that's how we met Karen. She called in the show, and she was so amazing. I said, I'm going to have her on not only tonight, but several other times, because after reading her books and hearing her song and her musical coloring book and all the different nonprofits she's involved with and just the amazing things that she does, I said, this is going to be more than one night. So stay tuned, because I know you will learn so much from her. You know, last week when I did the show with Rosalind, I said, how am I going to top this show? This is like the best show that we've done so far, and I just was baffled, you guys. And I thought, I know, I'll have Karen on. Then I thought, well, how am I going to top that show? Because Karen's energy, it just radiates from her words, from her picture. When you see her smiling face, you can feel the love, and she is the real deal. She really, really is. Karen, tell us, well, first of all, she did an amazing Facebook Live promo with a healing circle that it's like you read my mind, Karen. She is so intuitive. Tell us the name of your 3 books and where people can find you, and then go on into the 3 C's that you're going to tell everybody about. So tell everybody the name of your books. And I understand that your book about dogs is a bestseller on Amazon for the animal rights section. I'm so impressed. So tell us the name of that book and the other books.
The first book was called Dogs Are Gifts from God, and that was my book that taught me about how to go from self-loathing to self-loving through the love of my puppy. I learned a lot about how to be more kind and gentle to myself and to others through the love of that puppy. And I had her with me for 18 years and 3 months in the physical. And then the next book that I wrote was The Secret to Puppy Love, because when she passed on, I felt her spirit guide, her guiding me to work with animals that had been abused. And so I ended up going and learning how to be a dog trainer. And because I'm a mindful and meditation and yoga instructor, I brought everything together into becoming a conscious dog trainer and expanded my nonprofit organization to include animal services, and became they called me like the city dog whisperer, and it just was amazing because I was able to work with a lot of the animal rescue. And from there, I saw that there was such a need for animal rescue to be able to amplify their message, and so I started a radio show called Positively Pets. And
Positively
really
Pets. Wow.
Yeah, that really expanded everything. And I started learning how to use social media for a greater good by connecting with other nonprofit organizations. And I'm all self-taught. I really pretty much watched a million different YouTube videos and had my teenage daughter helped me upload my very first YouTube video. So it's been an incredible journey. And believe it or not, I started really using social media only in 2014.
I know, that was really amazing. When I read about that, I thought, wow, she did all this in a couple years. And I'm not that great at tech. I have a very slow learning curve. So I said, that is so inspiring for me. So if you don't mind talking a little louder and projecting your voice, because I want to make sure that this gets on the podcast on iHeartRadio where everybody can hear it really clearly. So if you don't mind projecting your voice a little louder, and say the names of your other books here at the beginning of the show.
Yes, I had Dogs Are Gifts from God, which is, and then The Secrets of Puppy Love, and then the next one was Global Kindness Going Viral.
Global Kindness Going Viral. You also had sent me one. Is it a new book or is it not out yet? Something about co-creating heaven on earth or something like that?
That was my latest co-creation, and that is a collaborative book. So that is with several other organizations so that I could help amplify their message also. It's part of the Global Kindness Going Viral series.
Wow.
Because my Global Kindness Going Viral is a series of different books. So I also have a Global Kindness Going Viral coloring book,
coloring book. I saw they have a musical coloring book. I thought it was really brilliant that you got Natalie Ledwell. Is that how you pronounce her name? The lady that started Mind Movies, mindmovies.com. She's huge. She's like the #1 law of attraction person. If you go online, and you look up law of attraction, you're going to get Natalie Ledwell with Mind Movies, and she's extremely inspiring. She wrote your not only like a review, but she like actually introduces you in such a really amazing way. Can you tell us how you met her?
Well, we met, and she's been a mentor to me. I actually featured her and her dog, Bella, in my book, The Secrets of Puppy Love. And my Secrets of Puppy Love was using the law of attraction and universal laws in dog training, also using mindful approach and dream work. So there were several celebrities that were in that book that featured their puppies and their connections with their puppies and how they've learned that, their animals are here for one reason, and these are, to be unconditional for our experience here as humans. The animals are teaching us to be unconditional with one another, and they show us what they are by being pure love and pure joy.
One of my patients wanted to buy your book. I had sent her, it was a little screenshot. I don't know which. I think it was the one about co-creating. I'm not sure I read all of them. They were so great. And you give lessons, like 4 steps. One of them was if you treat others with kindness, if you don't love yourself, others aren't going to love you. If you treat others with kindness and uplifting words, you will receive kindness and uplifting words. Which book was that? And you have the laws. You had not only the law of attraction, but the law of allowance and all, what is it? Like
polarity.
Yeah, the law of polarity. Can you say the different laws? Because that was really brilliant how you put your books together. And speaking from your heart, I was saying last week that Rosalind Kahn, who's also your guest co-hosting, that wrote Dogs and Roses, that she has like a signature style of writing. Well, you also do. You have your own signature style. You really speak from the heart. And it just resonated with me so much.
Thank you.
Yes, you have no idea what it does for my health too, for my physical health. It helps so much. And I'm just so excited to have you on tonight. And, just remember that you get to be on several times. And, so you can just take your time with your message and And Rosalind, is there something you wanted to say to Karen or to thank her or anything?
Yeah, I just had a couple questions. The first one is that you had a vision many years ago, and just seeing it happen on so many different levels. How does that make you feel?
It's really almost like watching a movie sometimes, because I felt like this vision, this dream was placed in my heart. And when I, received the idea and felt this inspiration, I knew it was a divine inspiration, and I knew it was something bigger than what my human self could even begin to understand. And so I had to really tap into my own inner wisdom and really understand that there was something that was happening that was awakening the planet, that was coming through me, but that was a universal message for all. And it really helped me a lot to just kind of step myself out of the picture and allow this beautiful energy of pure love and pure joy that is my magnificent self to just take the wheel and just kind of allow all the people and all the circumstances and all the opportunities to just kind of fall in my lap. It is the universal law. And when you do, let go of the how, you are going to get ready for the wow. And
I love that. Hold on, we got to repeat that because that's brilliant. When you let go of the how, get ready for the wow. And you're also somebody that's turned, like, as you also said, and I've said this before, your mess into a message, and your wounds into, how did you say it? Into wisdom. Karen has a really incredible story because she started out, she came out to California, but she brought everything with her. Like, as we all do, we do a geographic and we move somewhere, but we do bring our old belief systems and everything with us. And through a series of events, she ended up homeless, living in her car. And she was doing drugs and alcohol to suppress her feelings. And then, I love this, you were reading Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And Louise Hay's You Can Heal Your Life. And the other was Wayne Dyer. Which Wayne Dyer book was it?
You'll see it when you believe it.
You'll see it when you believe it. And I like Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill and The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale were the first two books I read when I was 12, and on this journey of, of what is life for and how am I going to get my message out. And so I love that. And so can you tell us how you, went from there into what that was like just so people can relate to that, because everybody, her message tonight about the 3 seasons, that everybody can find their voice. Everybody, in fact, one of your mentors told you, you don't have to be an expert at something. Be an expert at being your authentic self. And Karen
that
is
was Chris Carlson.
Chris Carlson.
Don't sweat the small stuff.
Yes. Oh, Richard Carlson? Yes, Richard Carlson. I love that book. She is her authentic self. His wife.
Christine Carlson.
Oh, okay.
She's continuing his message.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Amazing, another amazing mentor.
Well, let's talk about you. How did you, because she's so kind and generous. I mean, throughout her books, she mentions all the different people that influenced her, but your true, authentic voice is she truly walks this walk, people. I mean, most people know that I did book reviews and different best-selling author interviews for like 20 years of some of the world-renowned bestsellers. And what's so amazing is that Karen, some of the people that have influenced you are people that I actually know, that I've worked with, that I've actually interviewed and knew on a personal level. So it's just so cool now. Like, for instance, Wayne Dyer, we were talking about last week. And now you're friends with Sky, with his daughter. Tell us about how you had that visitation when Wayne passed away in 2015, and she's so intuitive. Listen to this, everybody.
Well, first let me just backstory it a little bit, because
Sure.
when I was homeless, that was when I was reading his book, and I really feel that his spirit has been guiding me even when he was here in the physical. I really feel that there was a connection, and I feel like there is always an opportunity where a book just falls into your lap, or a person just happens to mention something, and it happens, so many times. But I became homeless because I believed that I deserved to be treated the way I was being treated. It was, I grew up with my parents divorced when I was 10 years old, and when they divorced, I took on this belief that if I could have just done this better, they wouldn't have divorced. And so I took on the belief that I just wasn't enough. I wasn't good enough. I wasn't pretty enough. I didn't keep my room clean enough. I wasn't smart enough. And so I had these beliefs, and they really started to spiral out, and to the point that when I became homeless, I started reading that book, Dr. Wayne Dyer's book, You'll See It When You Believe It, and I read the quote by Albert Einstein that said, the most important question you can ask yourself is, do I live in a friendly or a hostile universe?
Wow.
So up until that moment, I thought I lived in a hostile universe. And I had every kind of evidence that was proving that to me, because the law of attraction doesn't discriminate. The law of attraction is only going to be a photocopying machine. What you believe, you're going to receive. What you believe, you're going to achieve. And this is how it worked for me. I started to, these were the exact things that happened. I started to, just as a science experiment, just think, what would it be like if I could look at myself the way that my puppy looks at me? What if I could love myself the way that my puppy loves me, and see myself with unconditional, and forgive myself and forgive? And what if these books are right? What if this is like, because when I was reading it, I was thinking, oh, this is crazy. This is never going to work for me. But when I started to just do it as a science experiment, miracles started happening, and people that I didn't even know, strangers, were bringing me food and bringing food for my dog, and people were coming up to me and asking if I, needed some help, and they were offering for me to come and use their shower and stay on their couch. And this wonderful couple came up to me and asked if I would like to come and work at their restaurant, and that I could have my dog on the patio. So it was really the kindness of strangers that got me off the streets. And honestly, I just keep giving back because of that. And there's this empathy that I have when I work with teenage girls. See, I was in a very abusive relationship from when I was 15 till I was 21.
Yeah, that was really shocking, and you've done so much growth. Tell us about that.
Well, it was a cycle, it was a cycle that was happening that I was able to break. I've been happily married for 23 years, and I have a beautiful 22-year-old daughter. And, she would never, ever allow somebody to treat her the way that I thought that's how we get treated.
Right.
That was the way that people treated each other in a relationship, because I didn't really witness any love and affection between my parents. All I saw was, a lot of violence and anger, and they loved me and they loved my sister, but they didn't love each other ever. And so it was a real struggle. And when I started doing these science experiments, just like I said, I started to visualize, what would it be like to be in a beautiful marriage and to have Sunday dinners? And I would just visualize everything. And I've actually, truly, that's how the Global Kindness Revolution got started, was because my husband took me away for my birthday in 2014. And when we were at this beautiful hotel in Las Vegas, he flew out my best friend from Massachusetts. And when we were at the hotel, they asked us if, they brought over the cake, and they said, make a wish. And so I made the wish that global kindness go viral, and that I could teach people what I've learned, and that I could help to shine a light on the people who are being kind in the world, and the animal rescue organizations, and how could I do that? That was the wish that I made. And so when we make a wish like that, we actually open up the channels and the gateways for all of the non-physical teachers and guides and helpers and spirits and angels and all of the, angelic realms and all of these gateways to have all of these experiences. And so what you asked me about Dr. Wayne Dyer was when he left his physical body in 2015, I had a visitation from him. And he asked me in that dream if I would be willing to continue his message of kindness and help to spread peace in the world. And was I, because these books were coming to me. I was getting messages from George Harrison. I was getting messages from Princess Diana. I called them the Council of Kindness.
Oh, that's so cool.
So many visits from these beautiful non-physical teachers who, wanted to continue their message and saw that I made this wish. And that's what I really believe. Because so many people ask me, how do you do all of this? And I really believe that tapping into your own inner guidance and your own inner wisdom,
wow,
and living your purpose, living your message, and being the global kindness that I thought was missing in the world.
That's what's so authentic about Karen, and I really want to commend you and Rosalind, because, I've been around this, the spiritual movement and all that for, since like 1997 when I started, actually since like 1993 when I started writing for different publications across the country. And I got exposed to so many messages and so many, wonderful healers and teachers and people like Wayne Dyer and Marianne Williamson that you have in your one book. And I'm on the back cover of her book Enchanted Love, and people like Dr. Judith Orloff and Deepak Chopra, and even James Twyman. When you brought him up in your book, I said, oh my gosh, she knows him too.
We brought him and brought Sky and brought Diane Ray. I mean, he brought them all to me. It was just amazing how easy everything just kind of fell into place.
And it's what I was trying to say is that that you really do live this, and the people that I would choose to, to work with on a bigger level and just really, get their work out there even more. And some of them were like huge, like Wayne Dyer and Marianne, that were huge, best-selling authors where their work is translated into 80 languages with millions and millions and millions of people buying their books. I can tell when somebody's not really living what they're preaching, and so you truly, because there's a lot of people out there that say that they're this or they're that or they're this positive person or they're this kind of a healer or coach or author or whatnot, but they really are not living that when you get to know them, or when you get a weird vibe, And with you just radiate this stuff. You are so authentic, and it's just so, it is refreshing, and it is like, it's like water, being fed with water when you're like in a desert. It's just wonderful. It really is. You hooked in with something called WE something, and where it's about what you can be.
The world?
Yeah, WeTheWorld.com, and everything now is about I this or me that or she this or he that, and I love that message because it's about, we're all one, and what we can do to be of service to others, and how you don't compete with each other. Also with your, tell us about the organizations that your Global Kindness organization, she's done so many things. It's like, I'm so excited about it because you guys don't compete. You help each other on a grassroots level.
The Kindness Collective.
That's it.
And the Kindness Collective that we have, right now, I was just at a kindness conference with 30 of the nation leaders in kindness and the 5 youth leaders in kindness. And we came together and we discussed how do we collaborate and bring our message, to the masses as a united front. And so I've been helping with organizing, and we're putting together, kindness broadcasting, and we're also working with many, many wonderful bully prevention organizations.
Oh, I love that. Yes.
We're bringing together this movement of kindness. The World Kindness Movement is celebrating its 20th anniversary this year, and I just designed the musical coloring book to go with that. It's a musical kindness activity playbook.
I love that. That's so creative. You're so creative. It seems that when you found your authentic self, that you really opened up all these creative avenues. You're singing and writing, and it just flows from you. Tell us about your musical coloring book and your vision for what people will do with that.
Well, the musical coloring book was to empower children to sing and play and with their families, with their friends, to do charitable acts together, and to learn how to be mindful. I'm a meditation and a Kundalini yoga instructor, so I teach about our inner magic and our inner peace and how to connect with our inner body. And so when I work, the coloring books that I designed are beautiful art pieces. So when children color, when anybody colors, we actually open up new neural pathways in our brain. I'm also a neuro-linguistic programmer. So
oh, wow. Hold on one moment. We have a caller calling in.
Okay.
Hello, this is Dr. Maryel McKinley, Conversations from the Couch, and our guest star co-host Rosalind Kahn and Karen Palmer. Who's calling, please?
Dina.
Oh, Dina. Dina is the other winner of our Cyber Acts of Kindness, Intentional Acts of Kindness challenge that we had last week. And we kept the challenge open, and her sister Teal actually called in first, so she won the free book from Rosalind. Dina, so congratulations. You're calling in, and you did win last week, and you did help your sister set up the Stop Cyberbullying and Hacking Facebook group that's been doing really, really amazing things. Thank you so much. Is there something that you wanted to say to Karen or Rosalind?
Well, I wanted to tell Rosalind that my sister got the chance to read her book, and she thinks it's an amazing book. And I have a couple questions. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that.
Rosalind, did you want to say something?
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so glad that she enjoyed it. And, my dog heard the conversation about dogs, and it's just sitting here laying on the floor, so I guess it's all osmosis here.
They're little angels and people. So, Dina, you had a couple questions for Karen or Rosalind?
Yeah, I have a couple questions for Karen.
Okay.
Okay, the first one is, how did you get the nickname Mindful Media Mom?
Did you hear that, Karen?
Well, yeah, my nickname, Mindful Media Mom, became what I had been reading a book by Dr. David Hawkins called Power versus Force.
That's the one I brought up last week. Remember, you guys, I said, has anybody read Power versus Force, about how if you vibrate at the level of love, it's, what is it, you reach like 750 million people?
Right. So when one person is vibrating with love in their heart, with peace on their mind, and kindness in their actions, we counterbalance 750,000 people who are in the low vibration of fear and shame and blame and bigotry, because those energies are fragmented energies. And when we're connected in with love and peace and kindness, we're the strongest forces on the planet. So what I started on Periscope was I started doing a show that was to teach people how to do meditation. If you're following me on Facebook, I just did a meditation, a global meditation for healing for the planet.
That was wonderful.
I started doing that And I started doing that on Periscope. This was before Facebook Live was happening. And when I was on Periscope, I started, like I said, I started with 5 to 10 people following me regularly. And when I was, I just kept showing up consistently. Those are the 5 C's I was talking about. I just kept showing up consistently.
Okay.
Right? And then the second part of that C is courage. You have to have courage to say what's in your heart, to speak from like what Dr. Maryel was just Maryel was. I said it wrong again.
That's okay. Maryel.
Maryel. Dr. Maryel was just saying about being authentic in your voice. Because you have to have the courage to be kind, and you have to have the courage when people are, not being so friendly, even when they're being kind of trolls online. You have to send that love and light, and you have to just continue to try to create. Number 3 is the connection.
Wow. Where
you're really keeping that connection with the person and helping them. So even though they're being a troll, you can say to them, this is a place where we have respect for each other, and as long as you are respectful, you'll be allowed to stay in the room. If you're
that's
not
awesome.
respectful, you'll have to leave. And if you want to stay and learn, this is going to be a class in meditation and mindfulness. I teach ancient wisdom for modern days. So I teach mantras and mudras and, like I said, the Kundalini yoga. So I was doing all of that, and another one of the top stations saw one of my shows and asked me to be their host on Love in Action TV. Well, that just grew my following huge, and my Twitter just blew up, and my Periscope and Twitter are together. And then after they saw that, I started doing a weekly show with them called Globally Good Show,
wow.
where I was focusing on the good stuff and what was happening and what the people were doing in the world. And then another channel that was the top channel on Periscope for meditation was Global Meditation Scope, and they saw me and they asked me to do a show, and so I started doing Self-Love Sunday.
I love that title, Self-Love Sunday.
So, and that just really blew up because people wanted to learn how to be, so collaboration. Look for ways that you can collaborate, like what we're doing here.
Mm-hmm.
What we're doing, what we're doing right now is we're bringing together all 3 of our communities together.
Exactly.
And so now, all of the beautiful global family, I treat everyone like my family. All my followers are family. If they follow me, I follow back.
That's beautiful.
Have clarity in your message is number 5. Be so clear about what it is that you're wanting to express so that it doesn't get confused, because when people get confused, they leave your show. And
right.
Basically every person who's listening is a busy person, and they're really thinking to themselves, what's in it for me to listen to you right now, So in the first 5 minutes, you have to make sure that you're giving that clarity, and that's how I became Mindful Media Mom, because I had no marketing and I had no social media, but I was very passionate about these 5 C's, and that grew my following. So
I loved how on the promo and the healing circle meditation that you did, you offered like a free gift. We love to give free things here.
It's globalkindnesstv.org/dream, and it has my self-love playbook. It has a meditation for healing your inner child and connecting with your magical child. It also has a video to teach you how to take your message to the masses.
Wow.
And then I go through your chakra system, how to manifest through the chakra system.
Wow.
So that's, it's over $400 worth of gifts.
Yeah, so Dina, you won over $400 worth of free things, and anybody listening, can you give us that website again, Karen? Website again to everybody so that people that are listening to the podcast, globalkindness.org.
TV.
Oh, globalkindnesstv.org
Like television.org.
/dreams.
Dreams. Yep.
Dreams. So it's globalkindnesstv.org /dreams. And that's where you can reach Karen Palmer.
No F.
Dream, DREAM, globalkindnesstv.org /dream. And you can get $400 worth of free, amazing gifts. And that is, she's so talented. She does neuro-linguistic programming, Kundalini yoga, some of the other things that you were mentioning that you do. Can you tell us? She's she's like the dog whisperer. You're also the spiritual social media strategist. Now I see why.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I've been working with the spiritual realms, and I call it sacred social media.
Oh, sacred social. That's even better.
Yeah, sacred social media, because I really believe that, like I said, what we learned from Dr. David Hawkins, think about how many people read your social media throughout the day, right?
Right.
So how many people are you affecting with your energy, with your smile, with your showing up? When I show up to do a show, I love these principles. I wanted to share these principles with you because these are the self-kindness and self-love principles.
Okay.
And this is how you can ripple this out into the world. First, the most important thing that you need to remember is self-love is knowing who you are. Self-love is what we experience when we make contact with our unconditional self, which is the eternal loveliness, which is our timeless being. And so, as Robert Holden expresses in his book called Lovability, self-love is knowing that you are love, that you are pure love. And that's what you are, that's what you've been made of, and that's truly who you are. So really, when you start to radiate that out, by giving it to yourself, it begins with self-care, and then it turns into self-love, and then it becomes self-mastery. And self-love is really how you feel about yourself. And it's a sacred promise that you keep to yourself to really see yourself in that vibration of love. And it's how you're meant to feel about yourself. It's really natural. It's not shameful. We've been taught to think that there's something wrong with self-love, but it's really the key to being your true self. And it really opens the door to really, like I said, it opens the door to mastering this human experience and to really mastering our mind. Because that's why Mindful Media Mom is, mastering and quieting the inner chatter so that you can actually hear your inner voice and hear the inner guidance. And so that's a really important thing. So, when we start to realize that to love somebody is a commitment that says, I will not abandon you. And that means when you love yourself, you talk to yourself like this: I will not abandon you. I will always be here for you. I will never let you forget who you are. I will always see the best in you. Now, if you're talking to yourself like that, then you're continuing, and I teach this to children, so I start at
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
If you're talking to yourself like that, and can you imagine, now this is my dream, is to have this be curriculum that is for all children across the world.
That'd be fantastic.
Because if all children believed in themselves and saw themselves as their beautiful, magnificent, true self, then they wouldn't be confused or lost. And they wouldn't have that, limiting belief that they're not enough.
Maybe it would stop. Yeah, who told you And you know, that could help prevent a lot of the school shootings, even, and the suicides. And
right, and that's the thing, is that when we, you know, what if we could start to work with children in kindergarten and bring them in to a place where they're, first of all, learning how to be kind to themselves, to the point that they're really filling their own cup so full that they can't do anything but want to share their goodness and their love.
And you know what's so cool is that, you know, you utilize, like, you know, animals and dogs, and how you said it, you know, how what helped you with your dog Lucky. If you could love yourself the way your dog loves you unconditionally, that's a great way to teach these little kids, because they know what that feels like with their doggies.
Right. Yeah, actually, that's what I started my radio show. That was the message that I was being told to share, that the animals wanted me to share, is that there's 4 things, and if every human understood that these 4 things are why their animal was specifically guided to them spiritually. The first one is to be unconditional. The second is to be forgiving. The third is to be in this moment. And the fourth is to just be pure joy. What if every human realized that that's your purpose? That's what you're here for. Everyone got that, you know? That's what I'm so excited, because I do get that, and I live it now.
You do. You live it. It radiates from you. And I just love it, because that's what I'm learning and what I'm radiating. And it's like, I really feel that God brought you and me and Rosalind and Dina and the listeners together. And that's why I don't want to let you go. I want to have you on a bunch of times.
I believe that with all my heart and soul. I believe that. I really do believe that, because the only thing that needs healing on our planet right now is the illusion that we're separate, because the truth is we're all in this together. And when we wake up from that illusion of separateness, then we will start to live this co-creation of heaven on earth. And that's what my last book was about, was how do we co-create? The way we co-create heaven on earth is to believe in kindness again. If we believe in kindness again, if we truly, if enough of us believe it's possible, we will start to see it happening. And I have seen it on so many levels. When Rosalind asked me, how does it feel to be watching it all happening right before your eyes? I think about it every night when I'm going to sleep. I say my thank yous, and I'm so incredibly grateful for every connection and every beautiful thread that comes into this tapestry, because we're all in this beautiful tapestry, and everyone has a different thread, but we're all so important to the tapestry.
That's beautiful. That's so beautifully said. Rosalind, did you have anything else to share about this conversation that we're having now?
Yeah, I just think I want to go back to the very beginning on the book that you read, and if you could just repeat the titles for me, because I have a thread that I see just going through it, and I think it's just amazing. So the book that you read, go ahead.
The first book that I read was Dr. Wayne Dyer's book, You'll See It When You Believe It.
And
the second one...
Go ahead.
Sorry. That's okay. The second one was Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life. And the third one was Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I was actually living out of my Hyundai, and I had 3 books. And
I love that story.
And that was when I learned the prosperity and abundance principles. So materially, I was at the lowest point, financially, at the lowest point in my existence, in my human existence. And in that time, I really learned these principles that I just want to teach everyone, especially people in third world countries, especially, I really just want to, and that's why I work with the Global Prosperity and Peace Initiative. It's a wonderful organization that is helping to solve 11 of the 17 global goals. And that was where I met Marianne Williamson when I was speaking at the World Parliament on Spirituality.
Wow.
And that was like, that was like a mind blower for me. Being able to be on the same ticket as
Absolutely.
Williamson.
I know. I was blown away when she used my quote from the Whole Life Times on the back of one of her books. One of my friends calls me up from San Francisco and says, I just bought, because I was guiding him through his book, a medical doctor. Dina, you know who I'm talking about, Dr. Walter Semke. And I was guiding him through his first book, helping him birth it. And I said, okay, I want you to meet Marianne Williamson, and I want you to do this, and meet Michael Beckwith, and this person and that person. And he calls me up and says, did you know that Marianne used your quote? And I said, no. So I saw her at a conference and raised my hand. I said, thank you so much for using my quote. We became really close. And for a while back, this is like, gosh, in the late 90s, early 2000s, I was the only one she'd let film because somebody had taken sound bites from her and used them strange, and she wasn't going to let that happen. But now, thank God, she's on YouTube. She's everywhere. But she's just really amazing. You also studied Course of Miracles, and
yeah, that was when I was reading Louise Hay. I was seeing the patterns, and I was seeing how, I had this dysfunctional family, and I was starting to understand how these patterns were working, and that's when I, started reading the Course in Miracles, and my husband and I actually started reading the Course in Miracles together, and my daughter, when she was young, we got the children's version of the Course in Miracles for her.
oh, that's awesome.
And we started doing, back when we first, when she was in 5th grade, we started doing a book called What I Like About You. And every day we would write something about each other, just so that, we were keeping our focus on the things that we were grateful about each other. And we continued to really sweet thing for me, my birthday, this last birthday. They made me this little bag of what they like about me, so every day I can pull out a little note that says what I like about you. So that is so cool. Yeah, I encourage people to do that for the people they live with, and the people that they appreciate, make a little bag of appreciation with little strips of paper that say what you like about your husband or your wife or your mother or your father, or focus on the things what you focus on expands.
Absolutely.
That's why what you focus on, if you're focused on what's wrong with the relationship, then you're going to see a lot more of that expanding.
Exactly.
But if you focus on what you appreciate, you'll notice that it really does get so much easier.
It does.
It's really amazing.
It's so true, too. And I remember Wayne Dyer was the first person that actually taught me that, and that I actually understood. Thank God, thank God, because it's so true. And now it's just permeating throughout my whole life. Some of the toughest relationships that needed to be healed that I didn't think would ever be healed, like certain nemesis type family relationships, getting along fabulous consistently. And I just started, I studied unity, and I studied to be a unity chaplain, and one of the things they teach there is they call it holding the high watch for the person. So and I'm sure you do this with your healing too. It's where you see the Christ consciousness or the the divinity within the other person. You see them healed, healthy, and whole, and you don't focus on like all this is that, and this person is that, and blah 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 blah. I just started holding that up and consistently myself, and it's like, and you mentioned this in some of your books too, Karen, and it's so true. You know, they say we can't change anybody but ourselves, but in so changing ourselves and evolving ourselves, and it really is easy. I mean, Karen's right. It's so easy because we're just getting in touch with who we really are, and that's love and joy. And you can express that through the action of kindness. And if you act as if, the feelings will follow. And if you feel as if, the feelings will follow. And you talk about, well, first of all, you talk about how we can't change others, but when we change ourselves, others do change. They either grow or they go, or, you know, it's incredible. And you also talk about the domino effect. And I love that because we were talking about that last week, about the domino effect of, like, if somebody's cyberbullying somebody, for instance, and some people that are accusing others of cyberbullying and this and that, and some of the people I work with that I gave this online challenge to, we started to realize they're actually being cyber bullies themselves. By putting so much negativity out there, they were attracting it. And to, you know, flip the switch and tell them in a loving way. And then to give them the assignment, only focus on the other person, only say kind, loving things, about the domino effect. And you talk about that, the domino effect of being kind and loving. And I love that. I just love that so much. Thank you so much.
I also feel like I kind of cut Dina off. Dina, did you have other questions?
Oh, she's got all kinds of stuff. Dina, what else you want to ask Karen?
Did you have I feel like you just kind of went off into a whole nother
No, she's listening to you. It's okay. This show, it's conversations. We like to get deeper on the second half. You're going to be on lots of time, so we can get real deep. Yeah, Dina, what questions did you... What other questions did you have, sweetie?
The question is not on the list, but I wanted to, first off, you inspired me to tears, but I wanted to find out, like, how did you get sober?
Well, that was, like I said, that was a really powerful experience with me coming to grips with my own spiritual gifts. See, I have been an animal communicator and an angel communicator since I was a little girl. And so when I was, you know, working on my own self, I had to really come to an awareness of who I really am at the core, and that is pure love and pure joy. And when I started to see that self-love and that self-kindness and really wanting to be more kind to myself, I didn't want to put negative toxins in my physical body anymore, because I was learning about this beautiful physical body that I have is going to drive me into higher consciousness. It's going to bring me into that feeling of oneness and that connection with unity consciousness. And so that was how I did it. I basically, did a lot of spiritual work, a lot of physical health work. Like I said, I became a neuro-linguistic programmer, so I started rewiring my brain so that I was looking at the patterns and seeing how the way I was thinking about myself, and really started to become, more self-aware of the words and the things that I would say, and I just stopped judging and criticizing myself, and I started loving myself and appreciating myself more. And then I didn't want to put those toxins in my body anymore.
That's beautiful. That's a beautiful message. Some of us had to do it through 12 steps. There's many ways to do it. And, like in the big book, it says that we changed everything. And we stopped fighting everyone and everything, and that we had a complete psychic change. And it really is, it's a spiritual path, and it's about, how we relate to ourselves, how we relate to our body, mind, spirit, healing relationships from the past, healing our present relationships, and creating, beautiful relationships for the future. And what I love, the message that you shared when you were in that time, in your car and homeless and all that, that you realized and you got it so quickly, and it's so incredible you got that. That's magical that, you had these beliefs that really weren't yours, these shame and guilt and all this belief that you thought you deserved to be treated badly and that's what love is. And that time was probably the biggest blessing for you, to be alone in that car with your doggy Lucky, and to be able to read these amazing books that just, the universe brought towards you, and that you were able to hear that, wait a minute, these beliefs aren't necessarily yours. That is so awesome. It really is.
The empowerment comes in, and that's why I'm so passionate about helping children, because I want to empower children so that they feel empowered and that they can learn these things that we weren't taught. See, my daughter was brought up with these principles, and so she's living her dream life.
Well, I thank you so much, Rosalind Kahn, author of Dogs and Roses and Random Acts of Kindness Are Changing the World, and Karen Palmer, the amazing best-selling author and TV host. Check out her channel on Facebook, Spirituality Gone Wild. She's got amazing shows. She's an amazing healer. Karen, real quick, give a website or something, and then I've got to close out real quick.
My website is globalkindnesstv.org.
globalkindnesstv.org. And if you do /dream, you get $400 of free stuff. Thank you, Dina. Congratulations for winning. And real quick, anybody out there that has a problem with depression, addiction, alcoholism, PTSD, anxiety, call me. Dr. Maryel McKinley, we love you. If you haven't been told you love yet. Bye-bye, everybody. We love you. Call me.